All right, everyone. Want to give you an update on the storm conditions that we are facing here in New York City. And I want to start by emphasizing this is a very serious storm. This is a tough situation in the city. I was just out in Queens, in Corona, looking at the operations by the sanitation department. I want to thank them for the great work they are doing, clearing streets and helping to keep people safe. Thank you to all of our sanitation workers and all of our public workers who are out there right now helping all of us. But what's quite clear is this is a serious, serious storm between the very low temperature, the strong winds, the driving snow. Everyone should take this one very seriously and take precautions. Because of the fact that the storm has intensified in the last few hours, I am now declaring a winter weather emergency for New York City. That will give our city agencies the ability to take additional actions to keep us safe. And in particular, want to note that any vehicles that are blocking roadways, any vehicles that are in the way of our operations to clear streets will be towed. So I want to emphasize to everyone, do not leave your vehicle in a situation where it's going to be subject to towing. We want everyone to be kept safe, but we have to do things quickly to clear the streets in the name of safety. We're closely coordinating with the state of New York and with the MTA. As you know, the governor has declared a state of emergency for the state, and we are working with the state on all actions that we need to take in light of that. And the conditions at this point are blizzard conditions in some parts of Queens. Obviously, we feel a lot for our colleagues in Nassau and Suffolk County who are going through so much right now. But Queens is getting some of those blizzard-like conditions as well. What we're seeing around the city is very fast accumulation. This has been going on basically started around 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock in that range. For a few hours now, we've had 1 to 2 inches per hour of accumulation. And that kind of speed of accumulation is what we found in the past, really creates a lot of problems for people moving around and creates a real challenge for our good sanitation workers to keep up with it. That accumulation will be continuing into the next few hours. But we do expect the heavy snow to taper off by the middle of the afternoon. Right now, in a lot of parts of the city, visibility is very limited to as little as a quarter mile. So again, anyone who is out needs to take very seriously. Driving conditions are really tough between the snow that's accumulated, the wind, and the limited visibility. The snow, as I said, we expect will end by the middle of the afternoon. The total in different parts of the city will be different. The range we're talking about now is 6 to 10 inches. That could change. But in some parts of the city, we expect to see up to 10 inches. We hope by this evening there will be no longer any snowfall at all, based on the latest report that I got from the National Weather Service. Sanitation is out in force. 12-hour split shifts have been in effect since 7 o'clock last night. We've had salt spreaders out on the road since 4 a.m. There are 693 salt spreaders out. Plows went out at 7:45 a.m. when there was enough accumulation for them to be able to do their work. There's now 1,500 plows out, and this includes the smaller plows that we added into the fleet in the last year to be able to work the smaller streets in many parts of the city, including in areas like Corona, Queens, where I was, and I saw those smaller plows in action. They're really doing great work, and they're reaching a lot of places that were unreachable in the past, so I think this is going to help a lot. You're not going to see pavement on the roads in the short term. The intensity of the storm is too great right now. There's too much snow coming down to expect to see blacktop right away. And we've got really tough conditions, too, in terms of the impact of the salt. When it's this cold, the salt doesn't have as much effect. We expect these very low temperatures to continue. So I want all New Yorkers to have a little bit of patience with the fact that despite the great work of sanitation, it's going to be a while before you see the blacktop in some parts of the city. In terms of other precautions we're taking, Code Blue is in effect and will be around the clock because of the extremely cold temperatures, so we'll be looking to make sure anyone out on the street is safe. Also, some updates on transportation. We are suspending New York City ferry service at noon today. Our expectation is that it will be up and running for the morning commute on all lines, but it will be suspended on all lines as of noon today. Staten Island ferry service is running as normal. It's on the midday schedule now. We expect that to continue at this point. And as you know, MTA service is all running. Also, in terms of transportation, both LaGuardia and JFK do not have flights going in or out at this point. Want to emphasize to everyone, these are very, very dangerous conditions. So this is where New Yorkers have choices to make, and I want people to make the smart choices. Stay inside if you can. If you do not need to be on the roads, don't be on the roads. That's both for your own safety and to allow the sanitation workers to do their work so they can clear the roads for everyone else's safety. If you go out for as little time as possible. If you have to walk somewhere, bundle up, take precautions because it's bitterly cold, and with the wind, it's even worse. Driving conditions are going to be tough today. They'll certainly be tough for the next few days because we don't expect to see a lot of melting. So there will be a lot of ice out there, and again, the high winds will continue certainly throughout today and into tomorrow. We're talking about gusts of up to 50 miles an hour. So whether you're driving, whether you're walking, tough conditions. Stay inside to the maximum extent possible. Don't go outside if you don't need to. Use mass transit if at all possible. We expect a tough evening commute. So again, if you can take mass transit, that's better. If you have to use your car to come back home in the evening, leave time, go slow. Take it slow because these are really treacherous conditions. Looking ahead, we, at this moment, expect school to be open tomorrow, Friday. We'll have updates later in the day, but given that the storm is expected to abate in the next few hours, essentially, we do expect school to be open.